RFK Jr. made some shocking statements about Anthony Fauci that you seriously are just not going to believe regarding his past actions and his involvement in gain-of-function research and the bioweapons arms race that he was involved in. This comes as RFK Jr. announced the Trump administration's ban on gain-of-function research, which is good considering it's now okay to say, as the FBI, CIA, and NIH is saying, that this was the cause of COVID-19. Does this mean that we are safe? Probably not, according to Dr. Peter Hotez, who has been an outspoken advocate for the COVID vaccine and a defender of vaccine misinformation, who claims here that another COVID-19 pandemic is just around the corner. Why? Well, you're going to want to hear. But first, I've got to show you this. Ilhan Omar has diagnosed what is the biggest danger and threat to America. Listen to this. I'm Zach Costello.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
The white man is the most dangerous threat to America and the world, and they must profile, monitor, censor, shut down anything radicalizing us white men. And what might that be? Well, these things come to mind, like Christianity, Joe Rogan, the nuclear family, private schools, homeschooling, anything that doesn't align with the progressive leftist agenda. Anything that doesn't align with turning men into women. Really radical, insane stuff. Speaking of, another COVID-19 will happen, and perhaps it's not too far off, and here's why.
We've had now 3 major coronavirus epidemics in this century. We had the original severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS in 2001, and then Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome in 2012. Now COVID-19 starting in 2019 and just maybe winding down just now. So we know that this is going to be a big issue, and it's happening because these viruses are circulating in bats. Bats are coming into closer contact with people due to climate change and urbanization. So that's going to have to be addressed as well, because I'm expecting we'll have a 4th major coronavirus probably in the next few years, given that current pace. So,
yep, guys, it's all these bats getting too close to us due to climate change and urbanization. That's why another pandemic is likely to occur in the next few years. Don't fall for it this time. Here is what's really going on. This is RFK Jr. going off on Anthony Fauci and gain-of-function research. Watch this.
Gain-of-function studies are the kind of science that is designed to make microbes and pathogens more virulent, more transmissible, and more deadly. It was in this country, they started doing it in 1947, the military and the intelligence agencies, in order to develop bioweapons. In 1969, President Nixon banned it all, shut down Fort Detrick, shut down all the labs. That ban, and then signed the Bioweapons Convention. That ban lasted till 2001. And after the anthrax attacks, Anthony Fauci essentially restarted the arms race and the bioweapons arms race, and did it under the pretension of developing vaccines, because of the same science that you develop bioweapons and vaccines. In 2014, 3 of his bugs escaped, and 300 scientists wrote letters to President Obama asking him to shut down Anthony Fauci. President Obama declared a moratorium, but instead of shutting down his experiments, he moved them offshore, mainly to the Wuhan lab. And now, the principal institutions of our government, the CIA, the FBI, the State Department, Department of Energy, all say that it is most likely that those experiments resulted in the COVID-19 pandemic beginning in 2019. So President Trump today moved to shut down this kind of research in this country and to stop funding it abroad.
Where is the accountability for this? Anthony Fauci was preemptively pardoned by Joe Biden on his way out of office. Fauci lied to Congress about gain-of-function research and the funding of the Wuhan lab. How can it now be acknowledged by the principal state institutions, FBI, CIA, State Department, that COVID-19 came from the Wuhan lab, and there be no accountability for those involved in its creation, funding, an outbreak that took the lives of millions of people around the world and left many with chronic and lingering issues. Not even getting into the vaccine that was created after the fact, that we were threatened for not taking with our livelihoods and jobs. Not to mention, it was the biggest transfer of wealth and the biggest money grab for large corporations and government in the history of the world. The Trump administration just shut it down, and that's great. But where is the accountability? We are getting frustrated with all of the talking about what we found, who is responsible, and who needs to be held accountable so that this doesn't happen again. I'm Zach Costello.